Moving to oneness. Nourishing curiosity. Embracing differences. Becoming one.
Welcome everyone to the Moving to Oneness show. And today we're the trilogy. It's gonna be fun, I tell you that, because Denise and I have a special guest from Sweden up north here in Europe joining us and helping and supporting in bringing wisdom to one of my favorite topics, or even topic of the moving into expansion, right? Playing with each other faster and faster as the time is now, in a way, dictating it, because everything is so aligned and it is a fun ride to be in at the moment. Denise is sitting in Chicago, as you know, having a watching eye.
Yes, good. Hello, everyone, to this beautiful fall equinox is when we're recording this, which brings about the change of the seasons and into more expansion of what's to come next.
Yeah, what is going to come next? And I think Evakarin, Wallin, thank you for being here. Tell us what's coming next, especially for you. I know that's a question that is pinpointing, but I do know she is a fantastic channel and she gets to the bottom, to the depth of you in seconds without story, to bring out what you need to hear to move forward faster and wider, and to move faster into that vastness. So Eva, Karin.
Thank you. Yes, what is ahead of us? It's a really interesting question. And just earlier today, I was out exercising, and it's a good place to be to get some, new information to come in. And I had this vision that, we have to choose where we want to go. It's like there's two roads ahead of us. Which one is up to us to choose? Are we going to go the fear-based version where, all the media and his aunt is giving us reasons to be afraid? Or are we going to choose the other path where we can trust that we actually can, every one of us, choose our own destiny?
I love that, Evakarin. That is beautiful. It's kind of going back into we create our lives.
Well, the thing is, we do all the time, whether we like the law of attraction or not, whether we believe in it or not, we are creating everything in our lives. And we have, some parts we are personally responsible for, but we also do have a collaboration with people around us. So we are creating together as well. So it's interesting when I look back and see, movies, especially coming from US, at least starting there, it was the Superman or the Superwoman or the super anything that comes and save the world.
Yes, we love having those superheroes that save our world. We want them.
The thing is, you and I are the superheroes.
Yes. Mm-hmm, definitely.
So when we can at least try it on and start to be responsible for, number one, our reactions and emotions, and number two, our actions, then you can see that you can really, really shift your life tremendously.
I love that, because it really starts within each and every one of us, accepting our superhero powers.
Yeah.
As opposed to looking outside and trying to draw from everything else.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's about, because if we look outside of ourselves, then we are feeding off of whatever that collective energy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if we're feeding off of very chaotic fear-based collective energy, then that's exactly what we're going to create in our own life.
It is.
Yeah.
But the beauty is, and this is my reflection and also from experience, that the high vibration we have, which means the happier we are, the more confident, fully be able to express ourselves, our authentic self, the faster we create this beautiful life that I think everyone is longing for. But the more dense we are, if we're afraid, if we are depressed or things like that, we are in a lower vibration, and then we manifest that, but it comes to us slower because it's a lower vibration. Isn't that neat how, things that we don't want, they come to us if we dwell in those low vibration a longer time. But it takes a longer time. But as soon as we step up to a high vibration, we attract things that matches or aligns with the vibration, and it comes faster. So it's like it's a reward built into the system.
I love that. Yeah, definitely. It's like as we bring the joy to ourselves. And that's what we're all trying to do at this time, is to surround ourselves with joy, with the abundance. And I see it here in the United States. I mean, there's a lot of transformation that the U.S. and the world is going through at this time. And it's what we get to choose on what we want to listen to, whom we want to connect with, and what vibrational level we want to be at. And it is about being at that higher level and surrounding yourself with people who choose the joy and the abundance and manifesting philosophy that you also have, along with being grounded within it, within the reality.
Absolutely.
We can't hide. What's going on.
Being grounded is so important because we need to have both the masculine and the feminine, the inner and the outer. They need to go hand in hand. And something that I don't like when they talk about you have to be positive. Think positive, because it could be dangerous. You have to see what is there. So you have to see the darkness that everyone has within us. We have to recognize it, become aware of it, because that is what keeps us away from manifesting what we want. I see this over again. Yeah. And the things, we don't want to see it. We don't want to see it within ourselves. We can see it in other people.
Yes, Evakarin, you're hitting the nail on the head with this, because if we choose to see kind of the shadow side of ourselves, and we always have a shadow side, that means we have to be aware of it and choose to do something different, to change, to grow.
Yes. Yeah, and to be invited. I think often we're not trained, and it's a social aspect, right? If we don't know how to do it, we're more controllable, and then we stay more in fear. Before I forget, because I'm going to go probably on the spiral, Evakarin, I would love to ask you to give some advice of how to move into a higher vibration. So I do know, especially when you're alone now or you are stuck by yourself in a home, eat well and physically stay well. And try, if you can't, so maybe your body aches or you're not so experienced in cooking or in figuring out yet what foods, nutrients your body needs. Start exploring slowly, right, in small steps. But I think this also will already help everyone to become more aware of what level you're in and what light to shine on your, if you don't want to call it shadow, or whatever is keeping you away from what you desire to create.
Yeah, eating more fresh vegetables is something that actually makes you feel better, raises your vibration. But also to just sit down and think of something that makes you joyful. And maybe not even that, just notice where your heart is, or the heart chakra, where you feel, just notice the best feeling you can feel, and just keep noticing that. You don't have to do anything with it, just be in it. Because when you focus on something, that will become bigger. So instead of focus on the fear, just let it go for now, and come back into yourself and look for the nicest feeling you can feel. And I did this without knowing what result it will give me many years ago now. And because I read a book, and at the end of the book, it was this sentence: I don't understand why people are going around being angry. It's not nice to feel angry. It's so much nicer to feel happy.
Yes.
I said, yeah, I mean, such a simple truth. And I hadn't thought about that before. You know, how easy it is that someone has done something to you and said, I'm going to be angry at that person. He's not going to let go of it. I mean, I am the one who's angry. I am the one who's getting beaten up by myself. So I just said, yeah, I'm going to be happy now. So, and I was on a vacation for a week, so it was really easy for me to get into the feeling and just enjoy what was there. And I was consciously going into the feeling, I don't know for how long, but 10, 15 minutes at a time, 7 times a day. And by the end of the week, I could feel like I was glowing. And when I came home, it kept on for a while. And without doing anything different, I made a lot more money. I had been searching for a solution to something for 2 months before this. I couldn't find the answer. And 2 days after I came home from the vacation, I was sitting on the commuter train back from Stockholm to my home. And something inside of me here was almost like kicking me, saying, talk to the woman opposite you. Talk to the woman. Talk to the woman. I usually don't even do that. I usually read a book or something. So I started to talk with this woman, and it turned out that she was taking a course, and she just finished the homework where my solution was in it. So 1 week after, we had a meeting, and she showed me everything I needed.
Mm.
And the third thing that was the most amazing thing was that I had, on the Thursday, the same week, I had a trip planned to another town in Sweden where I was supposed to give a talk. And when I was sitting at the airport before boarding the plane, I realized I would have 2-3 hours to spend before the talk. And that was the town where I come from originally. So I said, who can I just meet for a few hours over a cup of coffee at a cafe? And this woman came to my mind. We used to be friends when I was around 20, which is a long time ago. And then we sort of just lost touch with each other. Mm. So she came to mind. And I've tried to find her. And it was a bit of, wobbly to get a hold of her. And finally did. And she said, yeah, I would love to meet you. And we sat down and talked for an hour. And after an hour, she said, the thing that why you called me today, I tried to commit suicide last night. Mm. And I get shivers every time I tell this story. So you calling me today, I take that as a sign that I'm not done here yet. Mm. That is the most amazing thing ever. We haven't spoken for years.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Evakarin, because what I hear in that is that as we allow ourselves as an individual to open up to our body and the essence within us, and take part in the conversation that we're having inside of us, because we always are having conversation, but becoming aware of it, then we can impact many lives, our own included.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it opens up that we're not alone, right? Too
We are
often
one.
we keep our mouths closed. We're afraid that someone doesn't even want to hear what we have to say, or that we would be encroaching on their time. But most of us, I think, we are all alone, even for me. So I'm really happy if someone speaks with me, or when I'm in a restaurant. And especially when I moved to the US, I loved it. There people speak much quicker with each other. You know, because they're curious, and they look at you and they speak, or they help you out. Here in Germany, it was a little, I had to get used to it after 20 years in the US. When I was back in Germany, everyone was looking down, and I had, not smiling so much and keeping quiet. So I think it is up to us to take that courage, that step again, yes, I am someone, and this one is important for the other. And if we come together like us three right now, we're not just talking here, we have beautiful listeners around the world, but we're also providing inspiration for it, acknowledging, we're providing memories. You gave me some really intense memories when you were sharing your third story, your third point. Yeah, and also we're emanating together. We're going into a similar vibration, and that is what happens. That is transformation. Evakarin is also called the queen of transformation. I love that, right? So to start transforming is, yes, in us, in you, and in me, and that there's no way around it. So everyone, a little courage, like Evakarin had. When she was on the bus speaking suddenly to a woman to give her solutions, or listening to her, there is someone I'm supposed to meet, and who is it? And then acting on her thought, or acting where your body moves you to, right? And to go where the body wants to shut off the mind chatter.
I can say I haven't thought about this actually until now when you talk like that, because it normally the intuition speaks to you, it whispers. So you have really to be attentive to know which part of you is speaking. But at this time, it was so strong. So I had no hesitation about it. I mean, yeah, I hesitated to talk to the person because I usually don't do it, but it was so strong. I said it was like someone was kicking me inside.
Wow.
So it was, I've never experienced it so strong before or after, actually. So the funny thing is that I haven't been able to reach the same state again because something happened. And this is really interesting. And this is the key to actually what I do today. And it's a key for real lasting transformation, because it went on for a couple of weeks. And then my subconscious mind was not aligned with me being on this high level, because I had so many limiting beliefs that was not aligned with that, and they hadn't transformed. So what happens? Someone said something to me. It was actually the person who's now my husband. And he said something about my curtains. I mean, it was nothing. But because it triggered something in me, a pattern from my whole life, that I'm messy and, things like that. And that was the thing that pushed me down from being on such a high energetic level, down deep, and feeling I'm a bad person. Mm-hmm. That was basically it. And I mean, it's not the truth, but that was my belief about myself. So that's why I couldn't stay on this high level. And this is why people don't get the law of attraction work for them, because they're not willing to see the parts of them that say I'm not good enough. Or I'm a bad person.
Give everyone a hint. How can we, first of all, feel safe enough to take a look To not
Yeah.
get scared or to, because we're maybe also afraid that we'll be sad or that we'll crack or that we're not even strong enough. So yes, maybe get some friends to go with you there, or maybe just sit there. But what can you suggest for someone to do?
I can say that to express feelings, reactions, is never dangerous unless you are hitting someone. But I mean, to cry, be angry, or whatever you feel shame, it's not dangerous to feel that. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's not dangerous. The dangerous part is when you don't let them out.
That is
or
true.
you let them out in a destructive way.
Yeah.
And if you look at the world today, what are we hearing from the news? Is people are being mean to each other because I'm 100% sure of this, because they don't feel good. They are afraid, they are angry, but not from the reason that they are hitting someone else or making war with someone else. It comes from a totally different source. But because we have not learned what to do with our feelings, you don't know what to do. You just react to it. Mm. So something that everyone can do is to sit down and just allow the feeling to come up. And if you feel more comfortable being alone, be alone. If you feel more comfortable to have someone with you, have someone with you. It doesn't matter. Start to just listen to what these uncomfortable feelings are telling you. And it brings me to another situation in my life where I really did that. And it was a profound change in my life. And I had been at this party. I was invited, but I was not included. I didn't feel included. I just felt awkward. And I just waited for having a good excuse to go back home. So when I came home, I had this, knot in my stomach, and I really felt bad again. And this time, I really listened to what this knot in my stomach was telling me. And I just wrote it down. It said, you don't belong to these people. You are not as good as them. You should stay with your own pack, which means not nice people, because I'm not a nice person. And it wasn't nice to hear. And I felt really bad writing it down. But suddenly it stopped. Because all these feelings, what they want is to be listened to. You could compare them with a 5-year-old. They just want to have attention. They have a message to give to you that's important from their point of view. And when you allow it to be received, it can let go of you. So what happened when suddenly there were no more information coming from my knot in my stomach? The knot went away. And I remember how I stood up and I looked out through the window and I saw the houses that has been there for many years, and they looked different. Mm. I saw the trees and they looked different. And it's like, I understood that they were not different. It was me that was different. So suddenly my view on the outer world had changed.
Beautiful.
And that was such a profound moment for me. So I started to do this with my coaching clients, and same thing happened with them. And it was like, sometimes I felt like it's like clay in my hand. My life is like clay in my hand. I just can make whatever I want from it. But to really, so accept what is in there, whatever it is, but not to get stuck in it, but to release it from you. So you don't even need to work hard to free yourself from it. It's accepting.
Becoming aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is. And I like the first step that you really talked about is accepting that feeling feelings is okay.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty behind it. Yeah, definitely.
That's the interesting thing. We all have them, but we never learn, at least not in ordinary school, we never learn what to do with them. Mm-hmm. The only thing, I have 5 children, and sometimes they've been in fights in school. So I have to come and talk with them. Can you please talk with your child? Yeah, I can talk until the cows come home. But if they have a feeling of not being seen, not good enough, whatever, it doesn't matter how much I talk with them. The only thing that might happen is that I tell them, not with my meaning, but the way I'm acting is that, yes, you are not good enough. You should behave differently. Your way of behaving is wrong, which actually it isn't, because it's a reflection of how they feel.
And as long as we can address and see that our feelings are our most important tool that we have within what I call our body toolbox, then we get to make a choice on do we empower ourselves or do we disempower?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. You do some very great work within all of this. And I love your stories that you have with it, because those are the beautiful things. So, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up is how you shifted. It really wasn't anything else outside of you that shifted. It was you within that shifted and made a different choice, awareness.
Different awareness. Absolutely. And that changed my outer circumstances.
Exactly.
Totally.
Exactly. So as we're going to be tying this up in just a few minutes, tell us, Evakarin, that what is one maybe lasting thought that you have, and then tell people a little bit more about yourself and how they could reach you. Give us your last words of wisdom, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is when I hear people talk about, well, I'm practicing to have, how do you say this, trust.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, I trust in the universe. That is a way to put responsibility on something else that you probably don't even have a picture of what it is. So when you want to change something, you know, set your mind on what you want to create. And there's an invisible path from where you are and to the goal that you have. And when you think about it, you can only think about things that you have experienced from before. So where you need to have the trust is to yourself. So, and the trust that this invisible path will show its way when you start moving, taking action. Yes. The trust too that you will be able to work through the obstacles and to say yes to the possibilities. That is, we should put the trust.
Say yes to the possibilities. If that's not everybody's mantra after they listen to this, then I don't know what could be, because that is exactly where we are today. Say yes to the possibilities. So if someone wanted to reach out and connect with you, how might they do that?
Well, I have a website that has the same name as me, Evakarin Wallin.
Okay, spell that.
.com. Yeah, could you please spell it, because my
certainly
spelling in English is not the best.
No problem. EV as in voice, AKARIN WALLIN.com. EvakarinWallin.com.
Yes.
Well, I want to say thank you, because this has been a wonderful conversation, and I'm so glad you were on the program today, and that Meilin recommended. Yes.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for being here and let me share my story and my words and my wisdom.
Definitely.
Yeah, you have so much to share. You're really a vast woman being, and for everyone listening, I will put into the show notes a lot of her titles, and because we do love coming together and being so in the moment. Do a little of your own research what Evakarin brings, but she is so aligned to everyone who's listening to this show. So take her up on her fantastic and quick healing. So even if you do choose to work with her, it will be a fast, result-oriented work. So that's my little wisdom to Evakarin. So also thank you very much for being here on the Moving to Oneness show. And Denise, thanks again out of Chicago, Evakarin from Sweden, and goodbye. This is Meilin from Germany. Bye-bye.